Manchester, a city known for its industrial heritage, its vibrant music scene, and its rich cultural tapestry. But above all, Manchester is a city defined by football. A city divided by football. Red versus blue. United against City. The rivalry is not just a game, it's a way of life, a tradition passed down through generations. The rivalry pulsed through the city's veins, a constant undercurrent of passion, pride and animosity. Streets adorned with graffiti tell tales of past glories and future hopes. On the red side, Manchester United reigns supreme. Their history is a tapestry of triumphs, woven with threads of legendary players and unforgettable moments. Sir Alex Ferguson's men, a dynasty of dominance. Under his leadership, United became a symbol of excellence, a team that set the standard for others to follow. On the blue side, Manchester City fought for recognition, for a place at the table. Their journey was one of perseverance, a quest to carve out their own legacy. Among their ranks stood Alf Inge Haaland, a Norwegian stalwart, a symbol of City's defiance. His presence on the pitch was a testament to City's growing ambitions. Across the divide, Keane, Manchester United's captain, a warrior fueled by an insatiable will to win. His leadership was the heartbeat of United's relentless drive. Their paths were destined to collide. The tension between them was a microcosm of the larger battle between their clubs. The rivalry was more than just a game, it was about history. Each match added a new chapter to a story that had been unfolding for decades. Legacy, bragging rights. The outcome of each match reverberated through the city, influencing conversations in pubs, workplaces, and homes. Every tackle echoed through the years, every goal a blow struck in this age-old battle. The intensity on the pitch mirrored the fervour in the stands. In the stands, fans lived and breathed their colours. The sea of red and blue was a visual representation of the city's divided heart. The tension was palpable, the atmosphere electric. Every cheer, every groan was a testament to the emotional investment of the fans. This was Manchester, where football was more than just a sport. It was a cultural cornerstone, a unifying force that brought people together even as it divided them. It was a way of life. From the pubs to the streets, from the young to the old, football was the common thread that connected the city's diverse population. And on the pitch, the battles raged. Each match was a war, each player a soldier fighting for their team's honour. Every challenge a test of strength. The physicality of the game was a reflection of the mental and emotional toughness required to compete at this level. Every pass, a calculated risk. The strategy and skill on display were a testament to the players' dedication and the coach's tactical acumen. The air crackled with anticipation. The build-up to each match was a ritual, a period of heightened emotions and endless speculation. This was the stage where legends were made and broken. Each game had the potential to create heroes and villains, to etch new names into the annals of football history. And in the eye of this storm, Keane and Haaland were destined to clash. Their personal rivalry was a focal point, a subplot in the grand narrative of red versus blue. Leeds, September 1997. The air was thick with anticipation as fans filled the stands, their cheers echoing through the historic Elland Road Stadium. It began not in the red of Manchester, but in the white of Leeds United, a team known for its fierce competitiveness and passionate supporters. Haaland, then a Leeds player, tangled with a young Keane. The clash was more than just a physical altercation, it was a collision of wills, a battle for dominance on the pitch. A challenge, a fall, a twisted knee. The moment seemed to stretch into eternity as Keane hit the ground, his face contorted in pain. Keane, writhing in pain, accused Haaland of feigning injury. His voice, filled with anger and frustration, echoed across the field.
"Get up, you faker!" The words were sharp, cutting through the tension like a knife.
Haaland, indignant, protested his innocence. His gestures were animated, his face a mask of disbelief. The seed of resentment was planted, a small, seemingly insignificant moment that would grow into a deep-rooted animosity. Keane, forced off with a cruciate ligament injury, faced a long road to recovery. The pain was not just physical, it was a blow to his pride and his career. Months of grueling rehabilitation, fueled by a burning anger. He swore revenge. Each day in the gym, each painful exercise was a step closer to his return. Haaland, meanwhile, moved on, eventually finding his way to Manchester City, United's bitter rivals. His career flourished, seemingly unaffected by the incident. Fate, it seemed, had a wicked sense of humour. The paths of these two players were destined to cross again, this time under even more intense scrutiny. The stage was set for a bitter rematch. The anticipation was palpable, the air electric with the promise of confrontation. The incident at Leeds festered in Keane's mind. It was a wound that never fully healed, a constant reminder of a moment he could not forget. He carried it with him, a constant reminder of Haaland's perceived transgression. It became personal, a matter of pride. Each encounter with Haaland was a chance to settle the score. Every time their paths crossed, the tension was palpable. Silent glares spoke volumes. The animosity was no longer just a professional rivalry, it was deeply personal. The unspoken threat hung heavy in the air. Both players knew that their next encounter could be explosive, a culmination of years of simmering resentment and unfulfilled vengeance. The date, April 21st, 2001. A day that would be etched into the annals of football history, not for the goals scored or the skills displayed, but for an incident that would overshadow the beautiful game. The setting, Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, a place where legends are born and history is made. On this day, it was set to host one of the most anticipated matches of the season. Manchester United versus Manchester City. The atmosphere was electric. Fans from both sides filled the stadium, their chants and songs creating a cacophony of sound that reverberated through the stands. The rivalry between these two teams was intense, and the stakes were high. Keane, eyes locked on Haaland, saw his opportunity. A high studs-up challenge, a sickening thud. It was a moment that seemed to happen in slow motion, the kind that leaves an indelible mark on the memory of everyone who witnesses it. Haaland crumpled to the ground, clutching his knee. The pain was evident on his face, a grimace that spoke volumes. The crowd's roar turned into a collective gasp as they realized the severity of the situation. The stadium held its breath. Time seemed to stand still as players and fans alike waited to see the extent of the injury. The tension was palpable, a heavy silence that contrasted sharply with the earlier noise. The tackle reverberated around Old Trafford. It was more than just a physical impact. It was a psychological blow that would have lasting repercussions. The shockwaves of that moment would be felt far beyond the confines of the stadium. Gasps turned to roars of anger from the City fans. Their outrage was directed at Keane, whose actions had crossed the line from competitive to reckless. The atmosphere, once electric with anticipation, was now charged with fury. Haaland lay prone, his season, his career hanging in the balance. The medical team rushed to his side, their faces grim as they assessed the damage. For Haaland, the future was uncertain, and the dreams of a promising career seemed to be slipping away. Keane, standing over his fallen opponent, muttered words that would forever stain his reputation. It was a moment of raw emotion, a glimpse into the darker side of a player known for his fierce competitiveness.
"Don't ever stand over me again faking an injury." The words were laced with venom, a direct challenge that left no room for misinterpretation. "And tell your pal Weatherall there's some for him too." It was a threat that extended beyond the immediate moment, a promise of further retribution that cast a shadow over the game.
The red mist descended. Keane, consumed by years of simmering rage, had enacted his revenge. It was a culmination of a long-standing feud, a moment that had been building up over time. Keane, consumed by years of simmering rage, had enacted his revenge. The tackle was not just a physical act, but a manifestation of deep-seated emotions that had been festering for years. But at what cost? Haaland's career was in jeopardy, his future uncertain. The dreams of a young player were shattered in an instant, and the repercussions would be felt for years to come. The tackle became a symbol of the dark side of the beautiful game, a stark reminder that passion could easily spill over into violence. It was a moment that would be analysed and debated for years, a cautionary tale of what happens when the competitive spirit goes too far. In the aftermath, the football world was left to grapple with the implications. Pundits and fans alike debated the incident, dissecting every angle and assigning blame. It was a moment that transcended the sport, becoming a part of football lore. For Keane, it was a moment of reflection. The incident would haunt him, a reminder of the fine line between passion and recklessness. It was a lesson learned the hard way, a chapter in his career that would never be forgotten. As for Haaland, the road to recovery was long and arduous. The injury was a setback, but it also became a testament to his resilience. His journey back to the pitch was a story of determination and grit, a reminder that even in the darkest moments there is hope. The match eventually resumed, but the shadow of that tackle loomed large. It was a game that would be remembered not for the final score, but for the moment that changed everything. A day that started with so much promise ended in